founder. Take us back to the start, because you've come, I think your route to a founder and CEO is quite an interesting one. You come from quite a technical background. So please could you give the listeners a bit of an insight into that?
Sure. It was a big journey, to be honest. It's been 9 years since I decided to start EZOps Cloud. I am originally from Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, and then I started just, well, first of all, looking at this DevOps landscape at that time, right, was 2015, 2016. And although DevOps was already there, it's been some years, there was a lot of different tools available. So I just started digging around, playing around with the tools. And eventually I was able to hit my first remote job, first remote company. I worked with a consulting company here in the US from Brazil at a time that there wasn't a lot of Brazilians actually doing this kind of thing. And it kind of blew my mind how remote work was at that time, because this company, I was working at a company called Flux 7 that had everything organized, all the tools, everything set up for this kind of work, and just, blew my mind these two things, right? How can remote work could be like a full-time employee, but also the DevOps and cloud environment, how they was evolved, right? Especially based on the companies that I work in the past, especially in Brazil. Right. So this blew my mind. I just dig more and more, even work with the company, with the consulting firm. But that also gave me an opportunity as I updated my profile in platforms like Upwork and LinkedIn. I could also saw how much companies were looking for that professional, for that kind of specific of professional, right? So I invested a little bit in my profile, and eventually I got a lot of startups asking for my help. I worked pretty hard, and then I had more clients that I can handle. And then I just started with a couple of guys that I already knew and asked them to work with me. And that, was the time that, I knew that there was a business there, right? That I really did rely on the Upwork platform. It's an amazing platform that, although it seems like a freelancing platform, but there are so many business around that platform, right? There are so many people looking for more and more work, more help, especially on high technical ends like DevOps and cloud, that they just help me out all the way. The fact that I was just a developer from Brazil, and the fact that I didn't have any reference, I didn't know much people in the US, right? It was really hard to build a company around that. But I think on my side was the technical experience, right? The knowledge that I even got from the company that I started to work with Flux 7. But having Upwork by my side and finding more clients gave, the leverage we needed to build a company around that. Right, with no reference. And then with Upwork, I was able to build reference for myself. I was able to get that contacts, and those clients would get more work. I would get a great relationship with them, and we were able to grow from that, right? Of course, being in Brazil, I leveraged off also the fact of the currency. It was not that high, and we could offer, a specific kind of work without actually, relying on a big budget from clients, right? That gave us everything that we had just to organize ourselves and have been able to be a 9 years old company with almost 80 employees now, but also keep, having those relationships with clients and keep doing really good work. And especially, in that area, focus on startups, it does give us the fact that we are talking with too many people, right? We're talking with too many clients, and that is able to, to identify the market, to identify what the market needs, exactly what kind of customers we need to focus on, and what kind of work we need to do for those guys, right? At the same time that we don't rely in a big budget for 9 years, we've been through different situations in the IT market, right? I think when I started 2016, market was not that good. And then we got up to a point that was incredible up to 2021, 2022. Now I think it's getting better again. 2022, 2024 was not that good, but still we were able to grow. Right. But I think that's the fact that we have all those experience and all those customer relationship was able to keep us going and keep understanding what the market is. Right. and everything without reference. But now we do have reference. We do have the customers that we need when we were beginning. Time, fixes everything. So I think a lot of work, of course, but a lot of technical background helped us a lot along the way.